country do French ghosts eat for dessert? Why, scream puffs! Lots of cholesterol in those.
Once again, we find ourselves here at Disney World, specifically the Magic Kingdom, and specifically Liberty Square. This video has been a long time coming. I'm so excited to finally share it with you. Hello everybody, welcome and welcome back. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Happy Meowika, as I should say. By the time you all see this, it will be the 4th of July. This is my 4th of July video, and I was kind of racking my brain as to what could we do today? What could we do to kind of get away from the Halloween for a little bit and actually do something like on theme? And the idea just came to me. What is more, I guess, American than the riverboat here at the Magic Kingdom? Hello in Liberty Square. I am so excited to finally share this video with you. I'm so excited. This has been a long time coming, and what perfect day to share it than on the 4th of July. So, basically, in case you all didn't know, I used to work here at Disney. I worked in several different locations actually, but I did also work on the riverboat. Yippee! So this video is going to be a deep dive into the Liberty Belle, into the riverboat here at the Magic Kingdom. I'm going to be sharing all of the things that I can remember. That I can remember with you all. And yeah, it's just going to be a whole video on the riverboat. A couple disclaimers that I want to say at the top here as well. First of all, it has been a hot minute since I have worked on the riverboat. It's been basically a decade. So Lord only knows the things that have changed, the policies that have changed. I'm not saying the things that I say to you today, I'm not saying that that is relevant today, but that's what I was trained on. I'm going to just share that experience with you all. So who knows? Things could be wrong that I say today, but I just wanted to throw that out there. It's been a long time since I've worked as a cast member here on the Liberty Belle. The other thing too is there's no possible way that I'm going to remember absolutely everything. So someday in the future we'll do more videos on the riverboat. We'll do more videos on the other attractions that I've worked on too. Because there's no possible way I could tell you absolutely everything in one video. So if you're interested in this, look out for more videos in the future. And then finally, the last disclaimer here is I'm gonna be quote unquote, sort of, kind of, with an asterisk, ruining the magic slightly for you all. Now, I say that with some hesitancy because yes, I am going to be explaining how the riverboat works, and some of that may kind of, it's very possible that this could ruin the experience for you, and I don't mean to do that. I don't mean to give away the magic. I'm hoping that I can supplement that with all of the amazing facts and things about the riverboat to make up for that, because trust me, it is still a magical, amazing ride. One of my most favorite things of all time. And so I'm just really excited to finally share this with you all. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. I don't want to totally take away the magic, but I'm also hoping to add a lot of magic for you. So take that with what you will. Anyway, sorry for the long intro. I had to set all of this up here properly for you all. Happy Meowika, everybody. Happy 4th of July. Let's get on over to the riverboat and let's go. And you know, a trip to Disney is not complete without a stop to Geoffrey's. I love my Geoffrey's coffee. And this video's coffee is thanks to Larry. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Cheers. Really hope you enjoy this one. Even though the boat is inside of the landing dock right now, we're not gonna hop on just yet. There's a few things that I want to set up here for you before we even get on the boat. So we're actually starting this video off right next to the Liberty Square Marketplace, this nice little place in here where you can get some cold drinks and snacks. Directly to our left, there's this unassuming blue door here, and as well as this gate around the door. beyond that door is the break room for the cast members that work on the riverboat. There's only a handful of cast members that work on the riverboat. There's only like 3 or 4 that work in there. A couple of them just literally walked in there right now because the riverboat landed. And you rotate between each position every time the riverboat comes into port. And I'll explain that a little bit more in a sec here. This is where the break room is, and that's where the cast members go to, you know, take their breaks, clock in and out, and all of that good stuff. I've gone in and out through this gate many times. I am going to point out cast member break areas and cast member areas and such like that throughout the video. That is not an invitation to go inside of those places. They are not meant for guests. They're meant for cast members for a reason, so please do not go in there. I'm just simply pointing it out for you. It's a very small break room too. Like literally like the size of a broom closet. It's so small. A lot of times the riverboat people would actually go to the break room at the Haunted Mansion. Anyway, a lot of times they would go to the break room in the Haunted Mansion because we had a coffee maker and it was slightly bigger. The riverboat doesn't operate all day long either. Usually it opens late and it closes early. First position on the riverboat is actually the greeter position. So whenever the riverboat goes out into the waters of America, the rivers of America, there's a person, a cast member that hangs out here at the entrance greeting people. And when you're done with your break, that's the first position that you get to. You do the greeter position, and it's not too bad. You know, you're just telling people information about the riverboat, what they're about to expect on the ride, where to park their strollers, where the nearest bathroom is, you know, all of that good stuff that cast members do ad nauseum all day long. You also listen to classic songs, marching, I call them marching band songs because we play these songs in marching band, but like, you know, classic America songs blasting through the speakers as you're just kind of standing here telling people the things. There's more to the greeter position too than just greeting the guests, but the majority of what it is doing that while the riverboat is gone. While we wait for the riverboat to come back around, I wanted to point out the Haunted Mansion here. I did a deep dive video much like this on the Haunted Mansion a number of months ago. It's one of my most favorite videos I've ever done. So if you want to check out some fun facts about that, some cast member info, all the good stuff about the Haunted Mansion, definitely check that video out. Literally right around the corner as it heads past the Haunted Mansion. By the way, it departs every hour and half hour. And as the riverboat blows its horn one more time, or whistle I should say, the greeter has now left their position and they're heading down towards the dock. Riverboat is coming in for a landing. Now there's a lot of moving parts that goes into both docking the boat and not docking the boat taking off. So I'm going to try to explain it all the best that I can. Just know there's a lot of stuff going on right now in this moment, but for now we're going to focus on the greeter cast member who is going to help tie off and dock the boat. They're waiting for an all clear from the person that is doing the steam position down there. They're actually moving the boat right now inside of the boat. The greeter is watching them for an all clear. And then basically what's happening is they are tying off the boat at the front end. And then they're gonna give a clear to the steam person. They said bow line secure. That means it's tied off at the front here. The steam room person said the same thing, bow line secure, and now they're going to inch the boat ever so slightly forward so that rope is nice and taut. And then also what the greeter does is they come back this way, they tie off the rope down there to secure it on that end too, and then they open up the gates for all of the guests to head ashore. This ramp that we're about to walk over, I remember this being relatively heavy and cumbersome to put down. that was not fun. The next spot that the greeter heads to is actually going to be up top into the steering position, into the captain's position. So that's where we're going to head next. So now we're up on the top level, the third level of the riverboat, and that cast member now is going to head through this door. Captain's quarters, crew only. And you can see inside of there, there's actually, it's very elaborately decorated inside of there. There's like a bed, little bunk bed in there, which we often joked like we could just go down there and take a nap, if only, but it's not air conditioned in there either, so it would be very gross. But it really does actually look like potentially a captain's quarters in there. Here's another angle of it in there for you. Oh, there's a maintenance guy in there, okay. There, anyway, hey, and the steam cast member down below has just given the all aboard signal, which means it is time to pack it on up, close the turnstiles, get a last call here, and then we're gonna be heading on our way. So they are locking the turnstiles because we wanna make sure that no guests go past the blue rope. There's a blue rope now at the entrance of the landing. We want to make sure they don't go past that because we're about to lift up the ramp, and then if they run straight forward, they're going to be running into water. So they got to lock those turnstiles. Now they're lifting up the ramp. Bows up. Everybody says that on the boat, so everybody knows. She's locking the doors there. She is now, or they are now the greeter person, by the way. And the cast member we were following earlier is now heading up to this level. We'll follow what they do later on, the now greeter position cast member. We'll just keep going with the captain.
Engine room, reverse 1/4. Bow, stop bow line.
Aye, aye, sir. Bow line away.
Engine room, ahead 1/4. Sound last bell. Leadsman, sound off.
So everything that just happened in that recording, if you could hear that, he said, you know, engine room, go back a little bit, and then sound off up at the top, etc., etc. All of that just happened. And I'm going to explain that again as we go. It's very difficult. There's so many things going on at the same time. So you just bear with me here. Hopefully I will put all of the pieces of the puzzle together there for you. But all of that actually happened. And our captain cast member up at the top here now sounded the bell, and they did the whistle and did all of the things. So now we have the next leg of the tour here. This is a very interesting part of the ride, I guess, for lack of a better word, because of that right in front of us here. Tom Sawyer's River Raft Ride. They are a free-floating vessel, the rafts ahead of us here, so we need to make sure, because we're going directly across their path, we need to make sure that they know we're coming, we're not stopping, and they need to get out of the way. So basically, that's where the whistle gets blown from our cast member here to let them know we are coming, and then they are giving an all clear to the rafts people to Tom Sawyer's Island to let them know we're coming. Hopefully you saw that from this end. The cast member down there on Tom Sawyer's Island, they gave an all clear signal too. Don't worry, I will show you what that looks like up close as well. But yeah, that's what's going on here. So that, again, just signals to everybody present here, Tom Sawyer's Island and us here on the riverboat. Hey, we're coming. We can stop if we need to, but y'all better let us know, basically. So they're just giving an all clear, saying, okay, we're not gonna let any rafts go while this huge giant boat is going through, and we're clear to go. So it's very, very, very important in the captain's position right now to keep your eyes open, keep your eyes peeled to make sure no rafts are going astray, And because if we need to stop, we need to tell the engine room downstairs to stop. So here is a part where I may or may not ruin some of that magic for you. Although I don't think this is necessarily a secret, but if you don't know much about Disney, then you may not know this. But the riverboat is indeed on a track. Womp womp. It's on a track. So the captain's position up the top here, there's a huge steering wheel in there. They're supposed to like kind of move it around to like sort of pretend like they're steering the boat. Because obviously we can see up there, right? Like there's no hiding in that position. But it doesn't do anything. The steering wheel doesn't do anything. Which is probably not a bad thing. Let's get real here. This is a very narrow river, if you've ever paid attention. So, you know, whatever. But that all being said, don't let that deter you from thinking this is a cool ride and that it's not like a thing, because they still have to move the boat forward, backwards, slow it down, speed it up, etc. That's all downstairs. So there is a lot of driving that is involved with the riverboat. We're gonna get into that later on in the video, but yeah, so that's kind of part of this position here, is sort of to move the steering wheel and kind of pretend like you're actually like doing something. But to be honest, for the most part, that position up there is the best position because it's so peaceful up there. You get the best views of the park up there that nobody else sees. You're eye level with Splash Mountain, you're eye level with Thunder Mountain. It's awesome. I loved that position. There's a lot that goes on into it as well, of course. A lot of safety things that they're doing up there too. Don't think that they're sleeping up there, but it's in general a very peaceful, lovely position. You really do get some of the best views of the park on the riverboat.
Well, I'll be. Look who's drifted out of the bayou. Off to port, Captain. It's Beacon Joe.
Old Beacon's been marking this river for longer than I can remember. Every time the river cuts a new channel, Old Beacon puts out a marker to let us know whether it's safe to travel or not. However, Sam here has been bragging that if push came to shove, he could navigate the Liberty Belle on a heavy dew. Isn't that so, Sam?
Well, I was born humble, Captain, but mostly it's worn off.
So the spiel that you hear throughout the riverboat, that is actually obviously pre-recorded, duh, but it's not based off of sensors like off the side of the river here, bouncing off of the sensors on the riverboat or anything like that, like a normal ride would be. Like you would trigger the sensor as you go through and then whatever animation or sound or whatever happens. For the riverboat, there is a button up top in the captain's quarters that they press for each segment of spiel, for lack of a better word. So they know whenever they get to certain points on the ride when to press that button. So it's very possible if you miss a segment, if you're not paying attention, you could be pressing the button for the spiel for Splash Mountain, let's say for example, when we've actually gone past Splash Mountain and we're actually at Thunder Mountain. And we are rounding the bend, heading back to the landing. We're about to see the Haunted Mansion, and we're gonna get some action here. So very soon, the captain is going to blow the whistle, ring the bell. There we go. Let everybody know we are coming around the corner. By the way, there is absolutely a technique to blowing the whistle and ringing the bell. It took me a very long time to master that. It is not easy at all. Real steam. This is operating on real steam. By the way, at least again, back in my day, it used to be a magical moment where the if the riverboat cast members was so inclined, they could invite guests up into the captain's quarters to drive the Liberty Belle. I don't know if they still do that anymore. I'm assuming they still do, but I have no idea. So I've been up there both as a guest and obviously as a cast member. I did that a couple of times when I worked here too. It's always pretty fun.
Your one and only exit today is going to be that deck closest to the water, so please utilize your 7 different stairways and start heading all the way down. Please watch your step as you exit and enjoy the rest of your day here at the Magic Kingdom.
I totally also forgot that the captain makes that announcement as we come into the landing area, letting everybody know, hey, the ride's over, and you're not exiting the same way you got on the boat. I'm sure you've probably seen it many times if you've been on this ride, but everybody goes back down to the 2nd level, thinking that's where they get off, and it is not. I also forgot to mention that you go inside of this room here to get up to the captain's position, and then you have to go up a ladder, a dang little ladder, to get all the way up to the top area. So it takes a bit of dexterity to get up to that position. So we're gonna obviously head off of the boat, and then we're gonna turn right around and head right back onto the boat, and we'll keep on moving. Okay, round 2 on the riverboat. We're gonna head downstairs now all the way to the bottom. And by the way, we are here with Tampa Jay.
When did you get here?
When did you get here?
I'm on a boat.
Yeah,
with the love of my life.
Yeah.
Former riverboat captain.
You want to tell them what you did today?
I rode Shawn.
Finally, yep. So make sure you check out that video if you haven't already. He's got his GoPro here. I can't wait to hear all about it.
Oh yes, I did a full review.
Awesome. I'm so excited for you. So Tampa Jay is going to be joining us for the rest of the video here as we ride the riverboat ad nauseum.
What?
So finally, the cast member that we've been following this whole time is going to go down to the bottom level, as I stated. We're gonna go check out the steam position now. It's quite loud back there, so I do apologize, it's gonna get loud. So inside of this section over in here, I'm sure you passed by it before, because again, this is how you have to exit the ride. But this is part of the position for the steam cast member. And that lever right here, this one right there, that is the accelerator and the brake. So, or technically not a brake, there's no brakes on the riverboat. You can go backwards, you can go forwards, and you can stall, you can idle, and that's it. Also, real working steam engines, and they are working hard today. It's an actual steam engine. By the way, our steam cast member just gave the all aboard, so they're gonna start locking up everything and getting ready to go. And the steam cast member has gone over to the accelerator stick because they're going to get ready to move the boat. Okay, the captain is up in their position now, and now the cast member is untying the rope down there first, and then they're gonna walk over here. Actually, first, the steam cast member is going to back the boat up a little bit. That way we can get the line here to not be as taut, and then this cast member can go ahead and unhook the rope here. We're going backwards right now. They're giving the all clear sign over there, and now they're gonna start moving forward. And you can see the rope, they just draped it along the side of the boat. So the steam cast member actually has to stay inside of their cage back in there until we make it past those dang pesky Tom Sawyer Island rafts. They're gonna give the all clear. They're gonna let us know once again, don't release the rafts until we've gone across past them, please. But yeah, so the steam cast member has to stay back in their back right next to where the accelerator is, because Lord forbid, if something wonky goes here and nobody gives us the all clear, or we have to stop, there's a raft in the middle of the river or whatever it may be, that steam cast member needs to stop this dang boat. And let me tell you, it's not like a car where you just press the brake and it stops. It's a process. It is a process to actually stop this boat. So they need to stay back there until we have passed this point. Just in case we have to stop this thing. We're passing the rafts right now, and as you can see, or kind of see, I think maybe their family or something is here hanging out with the steam cast member. I definitely had that before when I worked here. But anyway, they are back there. They are back in the cage area waiting for us to get past this point. So things have definitely changed because, again, back in my day, it would be about this point in time where you would have to get out of the cage, walk over here to where these machines are, and you'd have to like turn a wheel and get like the water running and the steam engines and all of that stuff. But they're not doing that, and I think it's because they have replaced the whatever engine thing was going on in here. It looks very new. It looks very different from when I saw it last. So I think they have updated this ride. Things have definitely changed since I worked here last. And you know what? As I said at the beginning of this video, that was like a decade ago. So imagine that. But it does appear that they have replaced like the engine or whatever it is here on the riverboat. Now, I'm sure you all can tell at this point, I'm speaking in layman's terms because there's only so much I remember. All of that technical stuff, I don't remember anymore. I can't tell you why I did the things that I did on this ride. I don't remember. It's a very, at least again, back in my day, a very technical ride. This was a ride that nobody wanted to work. Nobody wanted to work this ride because you actually had to do things. But that was actually the reason why I wanted to work this ride. I heard that it was, you know, technologically like difficult, so I was like, okay, yeah, no one wants to work this ride, I'm gonna work this ride for sure.
So will you.
Yeah. Steam cast member is just kind of been hanging out in the cage area, and as I was trying to explain up a little bit ago, it's very loud up there, so I do apologize for that. But basically, you had to, at a certain point, get out of that cage and then go to the cage that I showed you, the other cage in front of it, and then spin a wheel, and then like I guess the water would flow into the steam engines. It would make a ton of noise. It was super hot, and you had to do that midway through the ride, or the ride was going to stop.
Wow.
You had to.
Sounds fun.
But yeah, the steam cast member position is the most stressful one out of them all, hands down, period, end of story, because you are in charge of this ride basically not blowing up. This ride can blow.
Oh, wow.
It can absolutely blow up. So yeah, it's a stressful position. We've got our greeter person over here down at the bottom, and basically they're waiting for an all clear. Okay, so they got the all clear, and now they're gonna go up here. Once they're up at the top and then they secure the line, the steam person's going to put the riverboat ever so slightly forward. So she's putting the rope on. She's going to give an all clear when she gets behind the gate. Bound line secure. So she's going to move it forward a little bit. And again, we want the line to be a little bit taut. So basically, while the riverboat is here in the landing, position. It is always going slightly, ever so slightly forward. It's not in neutral, it's not going backward, surely, but it's just going a little bit forward. That's what makes it the most steady. Okay, I actually had to pop off of the ride, and we're gonna have to do it again because I wasn't able to get the footage of the Steam cast member parking the riverboat because there's a bunch of people gathered around them. So we're gonna ride it again, and then I'll show you them parking the riverboat, and we'll also do the takeoff because I'm not sure if I got that either. And as we wait to board for the fourth time, Tampa Jay brought up a good point. As far as the uniforms go for the riverboat, they have not changed at all, except no one's wearing the hat. There's definitely a captain's hat that you can wear, but otherwise the blue pants, the white shirt, little red tie, the vest, it's all the same. While we're waiting to take off again, I'll go ahead and show you the bilge. So the bilge is definitely a thing on the boat. If you see that pipe where all that steam is coming out right over there, it's hard to tell, but it is pouring water out of there. So underneath this big green pipe that's very hard to see because of the fencing in here, there's a bunch of water billowing up from under there. That's the bilge. So every now and then when it gets too full of water, they have to empty it, and they go through I think this cage, if I'm not, I can't remember which one it is, but there's like a button in here that you can empty the bilge, and then that's what's pouring out of the that little pipe there, the excess water. All right, we are about to take off. The Steam cast member just put it into neutral, so we are backing up a slight amount so the greeter person can go ahead and unhook the rope there. And now they've moved it forward, so we're gonna move forward because the rope has been unhooked. And then look at that, there's a wheel there. So that wheel used to be inside of that chamber over here, and we would have to walk all the way over here to do that wheel halfway, or like a quarter of the way through the ride. So they've moved it, they've moved the wheel to over here. So this cast member just has to hang out in the cage back in here. As I kind of mentioned earlier as well, but did not elaborate fully on, this ride was not desirable to work at back in my day. Not only because it was very difficult, stressful, a lot of responsibility that you don't normally have on other rides, but the people who worked here sucked. Just flat out gonna say that right now. They were the grumpiest, meanest cast members in at least all of Liberty Square Adventureland that I knew of. Very ornery, just mean people. And unfortunately, my training for this ride reflected that. I had the worst training experience ever on this ride. I had the worst trainer ever. He was so mean to me and so angry and just hated being here. He gave me the hardest time, and like I would take notes as I was getting trained, and he would like make fun of me for taking notes as I was getting trained. And then so I would stop taking notes, and then he would be like, "Where's your notebook? Why aren't you writing this down?" Like, he was just a mean, horrible person, and I hope if he's watching this he knows that he sucks.
Do you remember his name?
Honestly, I don't really, but I could point him out in a crowd.
He's lucky.
Yeah, so that I bring all of that up not just to get some grievances out here, but just to kind of once again prove that it took a certain type of person to operate this ride again, like about a decade ago or so. It doesn't seem that way anymore. From what I can tell, everybody seems to be in a good mood. They seem to really enjoy it here. It seems like a much more positive environment. I should also mention that a lot of the cast members on this ride were men. I was one of the very, very, very few female cast members working on this ride too. All of that was really and truly part of an initiation process. Now, it sucked. It never should have happened. It shouldn't happen anywhere. My managers never did anything about it either. Like, it was just a really horrible situation, but it truly was an initiation process. You had to be tough as nails to operate this ride. So they were trying to break me, but they couldn't break me. I did it anyway. But all of that stupidness aside, once I actually was on my own and operating this ride on my own, I surely did love it. When you get past the part that it's stressful and like landing the riverboat is really stressful and this ride could technically combust and blow up at any point. You know, once you get past all of that, it's a very peaceful ride. It's definitely the most peaceful ride I have ever operated, and part of that is because there's a lot of downtime for all of the positions. When you work and you're working hard, but then when you get your little breaks during the ride, it is very peaceful, very pleasant. You're just riding around on the riverboat all day, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. I really wouldn't. I truly loved working this ride. I loved my time on this ride, and I love it riding it as a guest today as well. Coming back up on the Native American village here, and I have a fun story for you. So the day that I completed my training, I did my assessment and I was able to work the ride by myself. My trainers, my assessment managers, they took us. We walked through the railroad tracks, and that was really cool. So I actually walked all around here, around the Native American village, and it was really neat. I saw all of this up close. And the funny part was that at the same time that we were doing this, the train came by on the other side, so we had to hide behind the teepees and the Native Americans so the train wouldn't see us. I will never forget that moment every time I pass this thing. By the way, obviously we are on our own little thing here. We're not on land. So if something bad happens, Lord forbid, we have a long time until we get back to land. So you know, if someone has a medical emergency, it's more than likely quicker, depending on which way we are, to get back to the landing. And, you know, if something happens, we're kind of stranded in the middle of the rivers of America. There are lifeboats that are backstage, if I'm not mistaken, and also the Tom Sawyer rafts would have to come and save us. We're sitting on top of life vests right now, so there are life vests. And there's something else. There's another story that I have to tell that's very morbid, but I'll show that near the end here. And we're getting ready to dock, so we're gonna see what the Steam cast member does. So when we get to a certain point, they're gonna put it into neutral, the accelerator. That's gonna slow it down. There we go. It's in the center, so it's going into neutral. And then they're going to put it all the way back, so it's actually going backwards. The wheel's actually going backwards. And that's what's going to make it stop. There we go. So now the wheel is turning backwards. And as you can see, it takes a while for it to slow down and then eventually stop. So once it stops and we're going neutral, they're gonna put it into neutral. And then the cast member here is going to walk up to the front and secure up that line. Now that the bow line is secure, they're gonna head back to the accelerator stick, push it forward. A little bit, then back to neutral so it slows down a bit. Getting that line nice and taut. And then the accelerator stick's gonna go to the forward position, so it's always moving forward, keeping it as steady as possible. It's a very, very, very delicate process here. Very delicate process. And we are off for, I think, the last time. I'm pretty sure, at least for today. But I wanted to show the wheel here really quick because my morbid story is, look how gigantic this wheel is here. It is humongous. It is moving along, and basically it never ever stops. So if somebody falls off of the boat, again, Lord forbid somebody falls off of the boat while it's going, they're gonna get sucked up into that wheel, folks. There's no ifs, ands, ors, or buts about it. They're getting sucked up into that wheel. And I don't know about you, but I don't think I could survive that. And basically what happens is we keep on keeping on. Yeah, basically, not to be too morbid about it, I don't know if anybody's actually done that. I'm not gonna lie. I have no clue. It never happened to me, thank goodness. But we were trained that if somebody falls off, again, Lord forbid, you keep on moving, you don't bring attention to it, you don't say anything, because you don't want to freak out the guests. You just, you know, obviously let people know on the back end, behind the scenes, but as far as the guests go, yeah, you don't like yell, oh my gosh, someone fell off the boat and they're gonna die. Like, you don't want to do that. So yeah, that's my morbid story for the riverboat. And the riverboat's about to take off again for another round. And by the way, shout out to everybody that worked on the riverboat today, and always, of course, but especially today, because I think a lot, listen, I wrote this thing 4 times. I think a lot of them like recognized that what I was doing and stuff, and I spoke to a couple of them and let them know, hey, I used to work here, and sorry I followed you around like all creepily all day, but they were totally cool with it and super, super nice. So shout out to all of them. They're doing an awesome, awesome job. And the boat is coming around the bend one more time. I'm gonna show you up close where the Tom Sawyer rafts are. I'm gonna show you up close the cast member over here who does the rolling their arms clear sign for the captain of the riverboat. But I also wanted to point out, just looking at these flags here, it reminded me, because we worked on a boat, we had to learn boat things. We had to learn flags, we had to learn how to tie knots, we had to learn a lot of stuff that had to do with boats. Now, don't ask me any of that today. It's been too long. But technically, we had to learn. And there she is, doing the rolling hand signal, and then the clear, and then the captain aboard the riverboat does the same thing. Also, I did forget to show you when we were on board, but the same day that I passed my assessment for the riverboat, we went downstairs. Yes, there's even more downstairs in the boat. I forget exactly what the term is called, but we went right between the steam engines there. There's a chamber door that you lift up and you go downstairs. And as part of the initiation, you write your name down there on the wall. So somewhere inside of the riverboat downstairs, my name is written on there, which is pretty darn cool to think about. I love that riverboat. I surely, surely do. By the way, after the steam position, you go on your break. So you just walk across the road here and you go into the break room where I showed you before, and then on the half hour, you come out and then you start it all over again. The last thing I want to show you and emphasize to you as the riverboat comes in for a landing, the steam position, when you're doing the acceleration and all of that stuff, docking the boat is one of the most stressful things of all time. Now, once you get the hang of it, it gets better and better, but it's a very, very delicate process, because if you go in too fast, you end up having to stop and then back up a little bit and then like try again. Because the line for it, the rope that we saw earlier, has to go in a certain spot. So the boat has to go up far enough to where the rope can safely tie around the dock here, so that you have to pull up a certain amount. It's a very, very, very delicate process. And all the while you're like speeding up and then putting it in neutral, then backing up a little bit while you get it to stop. And then once it gets secure, you have to move forward, again, very, very, very delicately to get the line nice and straight. if you go too fast, too quickly, you could risk like going so fast that it actually like backs up a little bit and like reverberates, if that makes sense. You could go so fast that it breaks the rope, which fortunately never happened to me, but I've heard it has happened before. So when they're going forward like this, you have to go very, very slowly. And I've definitely been in the position before where I've had to do a few crazy maneuvers to get it to dock properly. I just can't stress enough how delicate the process is of landing this thing. And with that, we are going to head out. That is it. I think that is everything that I had to say about the riverboat, at least for this trip. Okay, that's gonna do it for today's video.
She did it.
Hopefully you enjoyed this and had a good time, maybe learned a thing or two. As I said at the beginning, there's no possible way I could tell you everything. I can't tell you every single story. I can't tell you every single fact. There's no possible way. I will just settle for hopefully this came out like somewhat coherent. So we'll be back. I have plenty more things to say, but hopefully you enjoyed this initial video on one of the best, most underrated rides in all of Disney history. The Liberty Belle, the riverboat right here in Liberty Square at the Magic Kingdom. Did you have a good time riding the How often did you ride it? Did you ride it 3 times or 2 times?
I rode it 2 times with you.
Times, okay.
I tell you what, I wasn't filming, and normally I'm filming on there, and I just kind of sat back and I was listening to you and watching everything, and man, I have a great
Peaceful,
new, very peaceful, very relaxing, and I have a new appreciation. What I liked, this happened when you were getting off the boat, and the boat person that was working on the boat asked what you were doing, and you explained what you were doing and that you used to work there, and she was so excited, and she said thank you because we never get appreciated.
Get a lot of love.
Get a lot of love. That was the expression. So I agree. That is a ride, and I don't think people realize that it's a real attraction, and it takes a lot to get that thing going, and it goes all day. So.
It sure does, yeah, it sure does. So I'm glad that I'm able to do this and share some of those things with you all, some of my love for the riverboat. So I surely do appreciate you all watching. Thank you so much. If you enjoy more deep dives like this, I have already quite a few on the channel, and we're doing quite a few in the future as well. So if you want to check those out, please do. If you want to subscribe, that would be awesome. If you give it a thumbs up, that helps me out a lot too. Also, my fiance Tampa Jay has a channel as well, and he filmed something today. He was on Tron, as we said earlier, which is really exciting. Thank goodness for that.
Thank you. Thank goodness for
you. So make sure you check out that video. And once again, happy 4th of July, everybody. Happy Meowica Day.
Meowica.
And we will see you all
I love that
very, very soon. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye. See you later. By the way, Pal Mickey was here the whole time.
Mickey.
But I was so busy and so much stuff was going on, I didn't really get to play around with him too much. But that's okay. He was here.
He told a funny joke as we were walking by the Liberty Belle.
Yeah, he was like, what is the similarities between Donald Duck and the Liberty Belle? They both have a quack in them. Huh? Huh?
He's
Mickey?
good. He's really good.
If George Washington was alive today, what would he be? Really, really old.
Oh.
I love how he doesn't laugh after that either. He's just like,
I know.
Old.
Move over, Dad jokes.
That's
it's
it.
Mickey jokes.
Okay. Anyway, thanks all for watching. See you later. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Now, when I'm at the Haunted Mansion, know what I do for dessert? I scream. No, I mean it. I really do. No kidding.
Good job, Mickey. Good job.